can hear it in the house. Sometimes it shakes the house.
Mysterious explosions rocking an East Independence neighborhood, and no one seems to know what's causing it.
41 Action News reporter Brian Abel has the story you will not see anywhere else.
It's just like, I'm jumping. Well, there's small ones and there's big ones.
Well, it feels like my whole house is just shaking. It feels like a bomb is actually going off in my backyard.
Okay, now this is about the mystery booms, not the strange sounds in the sky that sound like screeching core or trumpets or, mechanical, something like that. Not those. These are mystery booms that are being heard all over the United States and in other countries right now. So just listen to this and think about it. Listen to this and tell me what you think this sounds like. Okay, now notice the common theme in these, that not only do they feel the ground shake, but they say it sounds like gunshots, sounds like cannons going off repeatedly. That's how it sounds like explosions, it sounds like cannons going off, it sounds like gunshots and gunfire. So really, I don't think it's much of a mystery. I think it is exactly what it sounds like it is. Okay, now close your eyes and imagine that these sounds I'm getting ready to play are muffled by being underground, but they sound like what the people say they're hearing. Explosions and then some gunshots. You see where I'm going with this? Just imagine that that's muffled and underground. You guys, we're already at war. There's a war going on under our feet. Just because this isn't going on the surface where we can see it, imagine those same sounds, but they're happening in the tunnels underground. They're happening in the underground railways. Folks, we're already at war. We are already at war, and it's happening underneath our feet.
But some experts are just baffled about what it could be.
I'm calling because we're hearing continuous sounds like explosions. We're hearing loud explosions. My house is shaking. The horses are freaking out. Does anybody know what's going on?
It sounded like thunder, but like I said, you could feel the ground shake, and it was nothing like an earthquake. We felt the earthquakes before, and it's nothing like that.
You definitely knew it wasn't a firework going off, because I've never heard anything like it. Like, very disturbing.
And David and Ann, interestingly, there have been reports of a similar boom from across the United States as far as Arizona.
We obviously dispatch cars. I believe EFD dispatched some fire people. I'm sure EPD dispatched people to the area. At the end of the day, we've not been able to find anything.
Crews scoured the area, but didn't find anything. It wasn't an earthquake. The USGS doesn't have reports of any activity in our area. Some people have suggested a nearby mine was firing off explosion. But when we called Vigo, which is opening a mine near Boonville, they said their permit does not allow them to blast from dusk till dawn. And the Air Force says it wasn't performing any military drills either. Authorities say, at least for now, it will remain a mystery.
People have been reporting these underground bases all over the United States of America for a long, long time and all around the world. And like here's just one, you know, and a lot of this is speculation. A lot of it is not, you know, a lot of it absolutely is not. The Greenbrier, remember the Greenbrier? Everybody said, hey, there's an underground base, you know, they're building when they were hauling out all of the dirt for the Greenbrier. No, they're building something. That's why were they, you know, there's way too much dirt being hauled out of there day and night. There's something being built underground. Everyone's like, oh, you're crazy, you're crazy. Well, now all these years later, now they give bunker tours at this palatial Greenbrier resort. You can see here, this goes into the underground base, and they had everything, hospitals, look at this, auditoriums, so that the president and the Congress could give speeches from underground and all of that. The newest one is the Denver International Airport. When they built that, there's been the same types of rumors that dirt was, for those years, that massive amounts of dirt were hauled out of there, and that there were underground facilities being built, and it was some sort of, the new Greenbrier, some sort of hub for the new government after whatever they're expecting happens. And, you know, there's all these conspiracies around what's, you know, but anyway, it absolutely is 100% fact that there are underground bases and there are underground railways connecting all of those bases. And it seems that over the last few years, it sounds like a gunshot, you know, it's explosions, gunshots, war. It sounds like war. It sounds like war under our feet, people. So it's not uncommon. This is happening everywhere else. If you can't believe it's happening here, that's craziness, because it's happening everywhere else. Look at these articles. I know, right? So I must be a crazy conspiracy theorist if I tell you the truth. So here's Newsweek. You know, this is mainstream. This is talking about Israel to install revolutionary tunnel detection system on the Gaza border, because repeatedly the same people we're at war with, that they're at war with, have been building these tunnels and tunneling up under their buildings in the Gaza Strip and blowing stuff up. Then we have, of course, here we go. Remember this, the Islamic State, ISIS in Iraq, and the rebels in Syria are using tunnel bombs as a potent new weapon, an upgrade to an ancient tactic, according to a Pentagon organization. So yeah, I mean, do you guys remember this? Them using tunnels and bombing all these targets in Syria. I mean, Syria is a big hot spot of the war right now. It's in Syria, rebels have used tunnel bombs to attack government forces under the control of Bashar al-Assad. In Iraq, ISIS used tunnel attacks to devastating effect in their assault on Ramadi, is that how you say it? On March 11, ISIS forces detonated a tunnel bomb under an Iraqi army headquarters, killing an estimated 22 people. The blast consumed 7 tons of explosives in an 800-foot-long tunnel that took 2 months to dig. So clearly these things happen. They happen, and they're happening in the United States. We have tunnels everywhere, and they have tunnels everywhere, and their tunnels are intersecting with our tunnels, and people are hearing these underground battles. Okay, I'm going to fork off on 2 quick tangents right here and see if we can't knock out a couple other mysteries while we're doing this. If you've read my book or know about my book, that's my thesis on the mysteries of the universe, is that there aren't any. There aren't any mysteries. All these answers are right here in front of our faces, but we can't believe it because of our indoctrination. And it's time to wake up from that, break free from that paradigm, and understand exactly what's going on. It's not mysterious. There are no mysteries. So let's do the Taos Hum. This is the Taos Hum. The hum is a phenomenon or collection of phenomena involving widespread reports of persistent and invasive low-frequency humming, rumbling, or droning noise not audible to all people. But the hums have been widely reported by national media. In the United States, the hum is sometimes prefixed by the name of the locality where the problem has been particularly publicized. Like in the UK, they call it the Bristol Hum. And in America, they call it the Taos Hum because it's in Taos, New Mexico. And people have actually had to move out of the area because they're like, it's killing them, like they can hear it. But you know, everybody has different hears in different frequency ranges, and you know, has varying eyesight and all of that, so it doesn't bother everybody. But some people, it's so droning and persistent that they've had to move over the years. So here's what's causing the Taos Hum. Tunneling beneath their feet in Taos, New Mexico. These things are huge. Look at the size of these. These are people here. So look, these are the size of the machinery that tunnels underground. And so this is where Taos, New Mexico is, right there. Can you see it there on the map, the red dot? And then this is the map of the underground bases and railways. And as you can see, probably the hardest hit area in all of the United States of America is New Mexico, with underground bases and underground. So it's like smack dab over Taos, all around. For decades and decades, they've been tunneling and building all around them. Which leads me into the next mystery of stealth earthquakes. There is a phenomenon of these stealth earthquakes. So listen to this. This is what Dr. Paul Siegel claims. Stealth earthquakes have recently been discovered. Although the same amount of destructive energy is released, no shaking is involved. Rather than the usual 10-second burst, this stealth energy seeps out over several weeks. Here's the intriguing part. These stealth quakes occur with clockwork regularity, as if an industrial park has scheduled the expulsion. This energy release takes place precisely every 14.5 months along the west coast of America. So, no, stealth quakes are no mystery. The Taos Hum is no mystery. The stealth quakes, there are industrial parks underneath the ground all across America, and especially on the west coast. So there you have it. It's not, we know why we're hearing the booms and the explosions because of the tunnel wars, and we know why we're having the Taos Hum because of the tunneling and the underground industrial parks. We know why we're having the stealth quakes because there are underground industrial installations. So, okay, now off of that tangent and back to the mystery booms. These are images of Derinkuyu in Turkey. These are the underground bases that have been found in Turkey, but they are thousands of years old. So that is another topic that a lot of people, probably if you're here on my site, you probably know well about it. Okay, this is Derinkuyu in Turkey, but there are other ones in the United States. These are ancient tunnels found in the United States when the miners were scoping out the area, and they were doing the whatever technology to radar down into the earth and stuff, and they found this pre-existing tunnel system. I think this is out on the west coast. Here you go. This is the part that a lot of you aren't going to want to hear, but a lot of you already know. Lizard People's Catacomb City. That it is recorded that these were humanoids that they called lizard people. So if you Phil Schneider says, he talks about the Dulce Wars back to New Mexico, that they not only tunneled into human enemies tunnels like in Syria and Israel and stuff, but that in Dulce, he was a geoengineer, a structural engineer, that military contractor, and he said that they accidentally tunneled into a pre-existing tunnel system where they encountered these, what he called alien grays in there, and it was it's called the Dulce Wars, and there was an underground war there, and he was split open and his fingers were burned off, and he has all the medical documents and stuff. And right after he went on circuit talking about this, he was mysteriously murdered in his home with a cord around his neck. So that's a tangent. For you people who don't know about the Nephilim races, it's Genesis 6. It talks about these falling interdimensional entities interbreeding with the human race and spawning off these sub-humanoid races. And we know they are the Nephilim or the Raphaim according to the Bible, and they are the Gentile races from the Old Testament that God was constantly wiping out to preserve the human race from extinction from these evil races. But there are remnants of them still around, and today we know them as, say, anything from the aliens, the interdimensional aliens that intersect with us from time to time, to weird stuff like cynocephaly or Bigfoot, or any of these entities that are humanoid but not fully descendants of Adam, of the human race. So there it is. This is what's going on, folks. It's a war underneath our feet, and there's lots of phases to it. It's not all one thing. Some of what people are hearing is tunneling. Some of what people are hearing is war. Some of what human war, and some of what people are hearing has to do with these ancient civilizations, and also wars with them. So a lot going on under our feet, and that's what people are hearing. It's not a mystery. That's the booms. So for those of you who have already stumbled across my channel before, you already know that I am here for one reason. I'm a servant of the Lord Jesus Christ, to serve him through this great awakening. Now is the time to awake and break out of this paradigm and this indoctrination and see the truth. So here is today's Bible verse. It's Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but it is the honor of kings to search out a matter. God bless you guys. I love you.